All right, let's talk about something that can feel, well, a little intimidating for a lot of academics: quantitative research. Today, we're going to walk through how you can get from just a vague question in your head to a really solid, data-backed conclusion.
So, does this sound familiar? You've got this great idea, this thing you really want to study, but figuring out how to turn it into an actual structured research plan, it just feels impossible.
Or maybe this one. You've been told to go read more journals, but you're just staring at a blank page. You literally don't know what to write first to even get the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's a super common problem. So many researchers feel like they're just left to figure it all out on their own. And that feeling can stop a great project dead in its tracks. But what if I told you there was a clear, step-by-step roadmap, a way to actually navigate this whole process with real confidence?
And that's exactly where a structured program comes in. This is it, the Certificate in Quantitative Research. It's designed to be that guide. So what do you actually get out of this? Well, it really boils down to three huge things. First, you'll actually understand the foundations of scientific research. Then, you'll learn how to build a solid framework for your own study. And finally, you'll put it all together and write a complete research proposal. Okay, so how do we do all that? Think of it in two big phases. The first part, day one, is all about creating the blueprint for your research. Laying that rock-solid foundation. You start with the scientific method. You gotta know the rules of the game. Then you dive into the literature review. And this isn't just about reading. It's about finding the gaps in what's already known. That's what lets you write an introduction that really nails down the problem. And all of that leads to building the framework that's gonna hold up your entire study. So what on earth is a theoretical framework? I know, it sounds kind of academic and intimidating, but think of it this way. It's the argument for your research. It's the logical structure you build from other theories that explains why you think your study is going to work out the way you predict. It's the backbone of your entire project. Okay, phase two. You've got your blueprint. Now it's time to get your hands dirty. Day two is all about the practical stuff: designing your study, gathering the data, and then figuring out what it all means. Here, you'll learn how to choose the right research design for your question, how to build the perfect questionnaire, and then comes the fun part. You dive into the data. You'll start by just summarizing what you found before moving on to the really exciting bit: testing your ideas and making some real discoveries. This brings up a huge choice every researcher has to make. Are you doing a survey where you're trying to understand a big population by looking at a small piece of it? Or are you running an experiment where you're actually changing things to prove that A causes B? Knowing which way to go is absolutely critical. And look, this process isn't just theory. You need the right tools for the job. A huge part of this is getting real, hands-on experience with statistical software like SPSS. This is how you take all that raw data and bring it to life, letting you find the patterns and test your hypotheses. And that's what leads us to this really powerful idea called inferential statistics. This is the magic part, really. It's the set of techniques that lets you look at data from a small sample and make a really educated guess, an inference, about a much, much larger group. It's how a poll of just 1,000 people can tell you something about an entire country. And to pull that off, you need a serious toolbox of analysis techniques. Things like a t-test, which can tell you if two groups are actually different, or a regression, which can help you predict things. These are the tools that unlock the stories that are hiding in your data.
So, after you've gone through this whole journey, what's the real outcome? It's a personal transformation. It's about you going from feeling uncertain and maybe a little overwhelmed to being a confident, capable researcher.
And this kind of structured approach is for pretty much anyone in the academic world. Whether you're a postgraduate student just starting out, a junior academic trying to get published, or even a senior academic who just wants to sharpen their skills, this is for you. When you boil it all down, everything we've talked about leads to this: one tangible result. You start with that scary blank page, and you end with one complete, rigorous, and ready-to-go research proposal. And it's not just about getting it done, it's about the quality of the work. As this quote gets at, it's about producing research that's truly for the graduate level. It's about elevating what you're capable of, and really, that's the whole point. It's about empowerment. It's about trading that feeling of being lost for the confidence that comes from actually mastering this process. So, a structured process like this gives you the path, it gives you the tools, it gives you the expertise. The only question left is, are you ready to take that step and become the expert?